All right. So today we're gonna present the emerging tech of VR, right? So what is VR? So VR is for the name it is virtual reality. It's um it's a reality that we um that it's a reality that we simulate in virtual environments. Okay, so um, it's basically not a new tech, but like customer wise, it is still kind of new, but it's here since 2015, I think. It came, but then headsets were very expensive until now. So here I'm gonna talk about the accessibility of these devices. So it's the emerging tech of the gaming industry. So the gaming industry is here since a long time, since the 90s. But virtual reality is something that came way in the future. Um, so basically, you the whole concept is new, and it's basically it is very limited amount of games that are available for um, virtual reality. There are some games, but um, flat screen games are still out there and are still much better performance than virtual reality is right now because of hardware limitations that we have right now. Um, of course, there's a lot of optimization that we can do for virtual reality, but that requires a lot of work and not a lot of developers put the work into all this optimization. It takes a lot of time. It takes the entire takes a year probably. A lot of tweaking to do. So yeah. So basically, there is multiple assets available on the market. Some assets are cheaper than others, and some are, let's say, very expensive. There is, for example, I have a few examples of those things. There is the what's called there is the a virtual asset that goes from that is near 9,000 dirhams, which is in dollars, let's say $3,000 for a virtual headset, which is the Valve Index, which is one of the most expensive headsets out there. Um, Also, others like the Pimax. The Pimax is it's really new and it's like a very large field of view, and that's why it's very expensive. But it's worthless. So there is a Valve Index, but it's around $3,000. Now we have a new headset that came with uh, those nice guys, Facebook, who decided that they're gonna make something cheaper and more affordable to the public because VR is basically the future of not only the gaming industry but also the working industry because VR can like do a lot of stuff, not only uh, benefit gaming but can also benefit medicine or can also benefit long distance work, can also benefit what's called um, fitness. It benefits a lot of stuff. Training for military can also benefit jobs like cashier or warehouse manager and stuff like that, where you have to to organize shelves and all this, and all this can be represented in VR. And thanks to VR, we can, as I am recording now, this is my avatar, right? And I can move my head, move my fingers, move my hands, right? Move my body, move my arms. Okay, so basically, it's the same as reality. Really, it's nothing different except that, well, no, you can feel things, but that's with another device. Okay, so then do you have the new thing that came with Facebook is called the Quest. The Quest came out not long ago, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. The Quest One came out, and it was a big thing because it was very cheap compared to the Pimax or the HTC Vive or the Valve Index. It's all different. Okay, so basically now, um, this is the new one that came out this last year, called the Quest 2, which is the next the one that comes after the Quest 1. Yeah, 1 2, yeah. And so basically they made a better one. It's better in every way. So like it's lighter. They made it lighter. They made it cheaper as well, and they made it like better resolution per eye. Because yes, in VR we have more processing to do because there is actually two screens. There's the screen for your left eye and the screen for your left, and your screen for your right eye. So each eye has to be rendered completely differently from one and another. So it's not like a computer. A computer, you have only one screen to render, which is easier for your GPU and your CPU to process. Now it's not the same. You have to render it twice, and to be able to have two screens. It's the same screen, but because you have two eyes, it's to make it more real. And you only see, like in virtual reality, you're only gonna see one screen, of course, but you have one lens for each eye. Um, so basically, the Quest 2 comes out at the price of 1,850 dirhams, which is basically $400, which is way less than 3,000 from the Valve Index. Um, but like, um, this is 400 for a big storage capacity, but if you want the lower storage capacity, there is an option that you can buy one for $300. Um, that is also an option, which makes the the exposure more of a thing because there's more people that can buy it rather than not everybody can afford a Valve Index. Like $3,000 out of your pocket like this is kind of a lot. Um, so which I mean they can buy the Quest at the beginning and then save for the Valve Index later, and still experience VR while waiting. Okay, so basically now there is the price difference that I just compared from the Valve Index and its rival. Basically, the Quest rivals the Valve Index because there is a better resolution than the Valve Index and lighter weight on your head, so less neck strain, eye strains, and all these problems in your neck and all. It's practically non-existent. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's still more bearable than to have let's say 2 kg on your head all the time. I'm not sure if it's 2 kg or something, but it's really really heavy, some people said. So yeah. Then now there is on this as well on the Quest. there is no need of base stations because every other headset need base stations for tracking. So basically, the base station is basically a box, right? A box that with some sensors in it that you put around your room that will basically track your movements. But with the with the Quest and the Quest 2, there is no need of that because there is cameras on the four corners of the headset, which basically are infrared cameras, which basically will track your controllers and will track the rest via the infrared lights that are present on the controllers. I mean, I can't show you the controllers. I mean, it's my hands here, but basically, how my hands move is because I have controllers in my real hands. And on those real hands controllers, there is infrared lights which are transmitted to the camera, and the camera is following those infrared lights and basically follows your controllers, so basically reproduces the same movements in the games. Um, so now there is so yeah, it's much cheaper, but at the cost of a slightly smaller FOV. FOV is the field of view. So there's a field of view for field of view is basically how much you're gonna see on the sides. Um, the the Quest has a smaller FOV than the Valve Index, but it has you can counter that part by getting thin pads for your face, which basically takes the headset closer to your eyes, and so meaning seeing wider on the sides. So now there is so that's about it. Okay, so that's the difference between before and now on the price differences. Now there is so now I'm gonna talk about the tech description. So what's virtual reality? So it's also called VR, and now it's called mixed reality, because it also can do some augmented reality stuff, which basically we'll not talk about right now, but it's really similar, but it's mixed with reality. So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna okay, let's say, okay, let's take I'm gonna talk about it a bit. Let's say you have these games by this company called Niantic. Niantic is a company that basically did AR games. AR is basically augmented reality, which basically will they made Pokemon Go. I'm sure you have heard of Pokemon Go. It has been there at some point 1 year. It has been a big thing. Everybody was outside with their phone trying to catch Pokemons in the real world with their phone. So basically, AR is you see something on your phone with a camera, so you see a real world through your phone, but also a, you see it's mixed with virtual. So on your phone, you will see something that you cannot see in real life, but you also see the real environment around you. It's using basically the GPS and everything. So basically, that's AR. It's to mix reality with virtual. Okay, so now this so that's what it is. So now this VR headset can also do the same AR, but you're not gonna go outside with big headsets like this and walk in the street for now. It's not. It's too big for now, and it's gonna come. Facebook Reality Labs are creating glasses, AR glasses, which basically will be like phones but on glasses lenses. So It's coming. It's coming soon. Soon we will be able to have AR glasses, but right now it's not out yet. It's in the making. There's still some AR glasses out there, but they are not perfect. But now Facebook is trying to make a better one and a cheaper one for everybody to have those glasses. So now there is so what is exactly virtual reality? So it's a simulated experience that is either very close to reality or not at all. So what I mean by close to reality and not at all, close to reality, we're talking about job simulations. We're talking about military training. That's what is close to reality. But not at all is basically games like fantasy games like The Witching Tower, all these games that are fantasy based games, which are completely different from reality, but it's still VR, which you can still move your body inside that world. But it's not real, it's not for any training purposes, it's only for entertainment purposes. Okay, so basically you put on the headset that cover your eyes to isolate you from the real world. You are inside the headset, your eyes cannot see around in the real world, but you can only see the virtual world, which basically brings the immersion higher than what it is. So once you do that, it makes you dive in all kind of metaverses. So what is a metaverse? A metaverse is basically this, as we can see there. All this is a metaverse. Okay, I can show if I turn around, right? I turn around. Here is my house. The house here where we can have a close look at this. Um, okay, so if I go and let's say, okay, let me check. Okay, you're seeing good, good. Okay, so now um it's recording. Yes, it's still recording. Good. Um, okay, I'm just checking a few things if it's good or not. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay. Okay. So, because basically I have my desktop that is I'm spawning it inside the game, which I can see my desktop. You cannot see it, but I can see it. It's there. So yeah, I'm recording like this. Okay, so basically, now that we talk about the prices differences, we talked about the we talked about the how to say it, the isolation and all this from the real world. Now we yeah, a metaverse is basically a verse which a universe that is virtual and that you can basically chill with other people inside, and also they have a VR device, and they can also um, walk like this with an avatar inside a virtual world. So now we have also something called the hand trackers. The hand trackers basically hand trackers, body trackers, which basically are here to track your entire body. It's some pieces of device that you strap to yourself. So the controllers are acting as trackers for your hands. So the headset is basically tracking your head movements, right? And also your mouse. I mean, your mouse is automatic. I mean, each time I talk, my avatar will open its mouse, obviously. Um, so that's what it is. There is also something else you can buy, which basically will track your mouse with your tongue. If you put your tongue out, it will probably put the avatar tongues out and stuff like that. And there is also so leg trackers, which is a device that you strap to your legs, one on for each leg, and basically each time you move your leg, it will track it. And same for your waist, which will track your waist. Same thing. Um, Now there is also the fact that it's 360 degrees. It is not just a screen in front of your eyes. It is where if you look around, if I look around, I can see everything. Can see a door there, can see, let's see, okay, so the door is here. As you can see, the door there. I can see my TV there. All this I can see. It's like this, okay? So you can see a lot of things. Okay, so now let's check to see. Yes, my TV is behind me here. I can play things on the TV, watch movies, listen to music. Same thing you would do in real life. You can do it in the virtual world. There's no limit to it, and it's 360, meaning you can look everywhere. So yeah, that's the difference between a flat screen game, which is only a screen that the camera is not attached to your head. So basically, you can only see what the screen is giving you, and not what your head is seeing inside this 3D environment. Okay, so um, now that we talk about the metaverse, let's jump into an example of a metaverse. So here I'm in a metaverse called VR Chat. This room I made it myself, made it in Unity, and once I've done it with Unity, I upload it to a server. Which is the server is of the metaverse is metaverse is called VR Chat, and they have a server that we can upload um, things that we create, and so we can basically visit things we create in virtual reality, which puts another dimension to what you create because you're not only seeing it on a screen, you are inside your work, which is great, and other people can see it. So you don't do your work just for the sake of doing your work. You do your work, but you can showcase it to anybody, which is great. So now VR Chat is a social platform that allows players to be what they want to be and socialize with other people within that metaverse. Like I said, you can do anything with other people. They also have microphones, so they can, like, there is proximity voice chat. So if you go close to somebody, you will hear them talk. The metaverse is forever growing as players have access to the developer's engine, which is Unity. An engine is a software to create games. We have access to the engine, and that's how I created this world. I modeled it myself, textured it, and all this work, lighting and stuff, did all this, and the water outside, everything, and then uploaded to this server. Great, right? Okay, so now that we have access to that engine, and if the skills of the users match the requirements, then they can produce worlds and avatars. Also, avatars are made by players, um, and they can produce worlds and avatars. And also, we can produce games that we can upload to that metaverse, like laser tag games. We can produce billiards and billiards. No, it's a pool table. We can produce board games and put them here. It works perfectly fine. Um, so now that we have this, we can upload them to the game servers for everyone to enjoy and play and socialize together. Now that we have talked about this, so in conclusion of this VR is made basically VR is made to escape reality and immerse the user in an alternative reality and be someone they are not inside an artificial universe, which allows many people to live a better life than what they have in real life. Um, and but the downside of it is that the equipment needed for VR isn't cheap. You need a VR ready PC, which on the low range, which is GTX 1060, the minimum, and even with GTX 1060, you're gonna have so much trouble running the games. So Let's say you want to go to mid range. Mid range is basically 1080 GTS 1080 GPUs, or 20 RTX 2060, 2070. All this is mid range. Uh, and all these cost a lot of money. It's, let's say, if you want to buy a laptop with a mid range that is VR ready, you're gonna have to spend about uh, 10,000 dirhams, which is already more than the headset itself. So you have to buy this, and you have to buy the headset and a lot of equipment that comes with it to maximize your immersion. I, for example, bought everything. I have headset, I have the PC, I have the cable to link to the PC, a power bank to charge my headset, Ethernet cable to be able to go wireless without cables. Yeah, I bought a cable and I got something for wireless. I know it makes no sense, but yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, so basically with all this, you gonna have a price that will come to the headset may be cheap, but everything that comes with it, the PC is already much more high price than the actual headset, and all these things. And still I didn't buy everything. It's on the long term. I'm gonna buy them little by little, but this is gonna, probably, if you want to buy everything at once, it's gonna cost you probably around the 25,000 dirhams or something, if you buy everything. Okay, so basically now that we are done about the price, we are done about the what is real metaverse, and we talked about the equipments. So basically, mini PC cost a lot. Like I said, and it's a long way for everyone to afford something. I had an idea. I have a personal idea in my head that could help people get into VR easier. I mean, there is already standalone headsets that doesn't require a PC at all to play games, but it's really not as good as the PC VR versions. It's a mobile-ish. It's done on an iOS, which is Android iOS, which is really limited into hardware. So it's not really nice, to say the least. It's really crap. Um, so there is something that we're calling. There's also streaming stuff like Shadow PC, but the problem is you can. The thing is, there's I had an idea. So basically, make a headset which is standalone, but also has the power to run PC VR games. If not, there is some tech out there like GeForce Now, which basically allows you to play PC games to stream PC games onto your phone using. You can also use gamepad, the Xbox controller, and play on your phone. Basically, what it does, it streams the game from a server, and basically you don't really like, it takes the power of the server and not the power of your phone, which is great, which allows much easier exposure to people. We have the same thing in VR. It's called Shadow PC, but it's not very, like, there's sometimes delays, which is not very nice in VR, which is very uncomfortable actually. So it's not there yet, but it's coming soon. Let's say, let's hope, so we can see more people inside VR. Not that there is not a lot of people already since the Quest 2 came, but let's hope for more in the future to replace everything we have in reality into VR. So basically now, we're gonna talk about so the associated skills that are needed in VR. So I also made the list of my skills, right? My skills that can be used in to make VR stuff. So basically, VR is like a game. It's a game. It's the same. It's a 3D. It's made with a game engine. Its level design can be in there, So basically, what is level design? Level design is basically like like so recently this world here that I made, I designed it myself. I took some inspiration here and there, but it's the product of me. There is no other room that looks like this. So yes, it's something new, and it's from my own brain inventions. Yeah. So now, um, there's also something called game design, which is obvious. This one is obvious as whatever the type of game you're using. And developing design is needed. Without a proper design, a game won't be fun and will die out very soon. Sorry. So now that's something. Okay. So without game design, the game is not fun. You need to make a game fun and exciting. Okay, it needs to have proper mechanics that is fun and addicting, so people come back to your game. At the end, games are also a source of revenue, of income. We're not making games just for the fun. We are not making games just for entertaining people. We're also making games for money. It's not. It's everything in this world needs money. Everybody needs money, and you make games, you make food. It's not to entertain people. It's not the main goal. The main goal is to make money. That's the sad reality, but it is reality. You need to make money. So basically, that's what it is. Then you have level sketching. This is basically also important to do as it gives a proper structure to the level you're gonna be making later on in the process. Right. You're making this. Okay, so basically, level sketching is you draw something. Let's say you draw something. I have an idea. Okay, let me go somewhere. Okay, I have just wait. um I have pens here. I have a pen, right? Okay. Okay, so I have a pen, right? I want to do something, right? So imagine you have something here, right? Okay, that's a room, right? You want to, for example, you have a corridor going like this, right? And then there's a room right here. Okay, and then there's a corridor here. Okay, so it's basically a rough sketching of levels. Okay, you have a boss here, let's say. Okay, you have mobs here. Okay, yes, it's great. We can. Okay, okay, you have pedestal here, whatever, right? So that's level sketching. Okay. Um, Let me see if you really saw that because I'm not sure. Yes, you saw, but you didn't see everything. Okay, but as you can see, it's there. um, it's there. Okay, now that is done, I'm gonna. Okay, that's done. We can put back the thing here and respawn it there. Um, Great. Yeah, great. So now, so that's level sketching. Okay, now we have gray boxing. What is gray boxing? All right. Gray boxing. This is also a part of level design, right? It's level design, and it is very important. It comes after the sketching. Once you have done all your 2D work, you put everything into 3D boxes. You don't put any textures. You put everything as boxes, primitive shapes, to be able to test the game before the artists give you textures or give you the actual models, because you don't want to wait months for everything to be done then you start working. No, 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 you want to work now and test the game to make all the coding, because otherwise you will never finish your game. Okay, so that's what grayboxing is for testing purposes. Now, there's another skill, okay, that's Unity game engine, yeah. That's the engine that I use for this, for example. You need to use it to make 3D worlds and make a game out of it. Now you have also Blender, with Blender, which also making 3D stuff. And with this, you make, let's say you make models, right? Then there's Photoshop. With Photoshop, you can make logos, you can make texts. Let's show you an example. Okay, so now if you look behind me there, right? Um, there, there, there is a text. Okay, so now this is not made with Photoshop, but could have been made with Photoshop. I used a generator, but I could have used Photoshop and made this. But yeah, I did it because I wanted to go faster. Okay, so Substance Painter. With Substance Painter, you can texture models that you made in Blender, for example. Although Blender also can texture, I prefer Substance Painter because this is what I learned and this is what I use. Okay, now we're done with the skill associated with it. Oops. Okay, so now we are talking about where VR is heading to. Okay, where it's going and where it is now. So basically, where is VR heading to? It's a very good question. So the industry of VR is going into a great direction. Okay, it's the tech. It's going forward. We have more technology that immerses us into the metaverse and makes us forget about our miserable existence. Yes, our miserable existence. For example, I can list all the tech that is coming with VR, even though for now this tech is kind of expensive and not a lot of people can afford it, right? Even though there is some cheap stuff, but not everything is cheap, and sometimes it's very restrictive. So now we have the motion controllers, which they are the controllers I have here. So what are the motion controllers? So it's also acting as an arm and hand tracking. They allow the player to use motions to perform actions in the metaverse, right? Like now I'm showing you stuff, yeah. I just drew something with a pen, yeah. Um, Using my virtual hands, not using my actual hands, although I'm using my real hands to move them inside the world. Now there is we can talk about the haptic vest. So what is the haptic vest? Yeah, the haptic vest is a vest made to feel pain, literally feel pain. Okay. Literally, the vest gives you a feedback each time you get hit in a game. You will feel it. It basically to sharpen the player instinct of survival and take the game more seriously and play better. Because games, right? Games, normal games, you don't feel anything, and when you don't feel anything, you don't have the fear of getting hit. You're not gonna feel anything, right? So if you feel something, then you will want to do it better to avoid getting hurt. So with this vest, you will get hurt. So you don't want to get hurt, so you're gonna get better to not get hurt. Yeah? It's not only for pain, it's also for sensation. If you want to touch, you want to caress, you want to you will feel it. There's nothing. It's not only about pain. It's about sensations. All right. Now that we talked about the haptic vest, we're gonna on the omnidirectional treadmill. Because what the omnidirectional treadmill is basically a treadmill that is 360 degrees. It's not only a treadmill that goes forward. It's a treadmill that rotates with you. So basically, if you want to walk left, walk right, walk in front, or walk backward, it will work. Okay. It's basically not a treadmill by itself. It's called a treadmill, but it's basically a slippery surface that you are attached to with harness around your waist, and you got two shoes that are also slippery, which and it allows the player to actually run and walk in real life, to run and walk in the metaverse instead of just using the motion control joysticks. Because yes, we have joysticks on the thing. That's how I just moved just before. It didn't feel natural, yeah, because I moved with a joystick left and right. All right. So now that we're done with this, we can go for the body trackers. Like I said in the previous thing, they are sensors on your waist, legs, to track your entire body movement and reproduce them in the metaverse, right? It feels way better. It once you go with this, you cannot go back because you really feel immersed. You really feel that your virtual body is your real body, but it's not. But your brain sees it better. It's more comfortable. Okay, so now, now there is one thing every VR player dreams of. Okay, it's about the full dive technology. It has first appeared in an anime series called SAO, Sword Art Online. It's basically full dive. It's basically you full dive is a tech consisting of putting the person into a dream state. The person would put on the helmet on and lie in his bed and start the device. When the device is started, it would send brainwave signals and basically making you dream about a virtual world, which is then sent to a cloud server and is shared with all the people that are using the device so we can play together in the same dream. Okay, so that's the full dive technology. Is it possible? It's definitely possible. Uh, Companies are working on it. It's on the way. It's probably gonna take another 2 years to come out, but it's on the way. Um, so now that you're done with that, the person, it's basically now there is also another tech we are really really close to now. I mean it's basically here. We're just very limited into hardware, to be honest. I mean, even though some games have proven otherwise, it's still not complete. Okay, so this other tech is much more possible. That that it's similar to the Oasis. So what is the Oasis? The Oasis was a concept in a movie called Ready Player One. The people were using VR just as we do now, right now, but with like endless worlds. It's basically an the metaverse was not limited by hardware. So everything here in my room here, the problem is, let's say, it's not, it's not, how to say, it's very limited as there is light. The light, all the light that I have is baked. There is no shadows coming onto me because the lights are baked, and basically they are basically textures only, and they are not real time, not dynamic. Because the why is it not dynamic is because I did dynamic not long time ago, but the thing is, some VR standalone VR headsets cannot support this because it's no, they don't support it. So yeah, it's basically I tried it without connecting to my PC with my headset, using my app in the headset directly, and the headset crashed. So it's not working for Quest users. I mean, Quest is the standalone headset. I mean, the only one. So that's one thing. So so what's the real future of the more achievable, let's say the more achievable that we can see coming in the future? Well, there will be headset becoming wireless, or even though some headset are already that feature, like the Quest, the Vive Cosmos, they have this wireless thing. It's only recent that it came out. The Quest 2 is wireless, but you require a Wi-Fi 6 router, and you require a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and a gaming PC with a Cat 6 Ethernet cable, uh, which at the end will cost you a lot of cash. So it will be expensive. So it's not everybody can go wireless. It's really narrow niche audience right now. Everyone right now almost everyone is tethered to their PC with the cable hanged on their ceiling with pulleys. So it's really not something really much used right now. So we are hoping to get this much cheaper in the future, to have other headset like the Vive Cosmos are able to go wireless, but the problem with Vive Cosmos, it's expensive, more expensive. It's not as expensive than as the Valve Index, but it's still very expensive. So now, there's also the body tracking. So we hoping to get more options in the future, because now, as of now, body tracking is expensive. It's not something that everyone can have. The only body tracking that is now, it's from Vive. It's the Vive trackers, and let's say they are very, 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 very expensive. Each tracker is about 500 dirhams, which is 200 dollars per tracker, which is really, really expensive. And there are some new coming on the way, which are much more cheaper, like the Slim VR. Slim VR is a new one. It will cost around $200, but for like five sensors, five trackers, not only one tracker. $200. Five trackers will be $200. So, and there's also the Tundra trackers, which are also on the way. So this tech is early, and this tech is developing soon. Vive and Valve will have competitors which are much more cheaper than them, so they will be forced to have a cheaper alternative too, which will help the people. So once you have this, also the Vive and the Index, the Index and the Vives, uh, they need base stations, and base stations are also expensive. You need to buy the base stations, and you need to buy the trackers with it. So basically, you're gonna have like a lot. That's gonna cost you more than $1,000 for sure at the end of the trackers. So yeah. So now that we talked about trackers, we talked about the pricing. Um, I talked about the Slim VR trackers. So now, this AR. So I talked about the AR at the beginning. So AR also enters the domain of virtual reality. Now Facebook Reality Labs announced that the AR Office app, which is basically a similar thing that I'm using right now. I spawned my window inside my virtual world, my desktop window, and it's the same. It's gonna be the same, but it's not gonna be spawned in the virtual world. It's gonna spawn in a real world. So, but it's you're gonna see around you in your real home, but you're gonna spawn a screen in front of you, even though you don't have a screen in front of you. It's just gonna be glass. It's just in your headset. It's gonna see the world, and it's gonna be mixed with your desktop um, tabs. Okay, so now that we have talked about the Office, so now it's better. I mean, I think it's better than using a normal screen, as it's gonna be. You don't need to. You only need your headset, and you don't need anything else. which is really nice. And you can use your hands to navigate around instead of a keyboard and a mouse, which is really, really, really practical. Okay, so now that we have talked about this, it's the end of my speech. Thanks for listening. I hope it was a great speech. I know it was a very, very, very long, um, but at least I showed you a bit of the virtual space, the metaverse. I mean, I only showed you one room, one world. It's mine, but I like if I wanted to take you for a tour, it's gonna take way, way, way more time. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for listening to my presentation, my vlog. I mean, and hope to see you soon.